Hey guys, here for week 6. So this week we dealt a lot with liability and several different kind of legal matters and issues that can come up in different situations. I thought all three of these chapters we had to read, the case summaries that we had to do, and our supplementary readings, I thought were all really important. It was kind of just a one kind of all summed in uh, general idea about legal matters that sort of come up at times, and what as an owner or a facilities operator or a manager, some of the things that you have to keep in mind. So it was really a week that I took several notes about things just to kind of keep aside for future reference, just things that kind of stood out. It had several cases within the textbook that I thought were really interesting that I just kind of made notes about, and their key subjects and what they kind of focused on. I thought uh, all of these chapters were just really it was a lot of information packed into this week that was really big to take away. But I guess getting to kind of one of the things that really interested me this week, I thought in the final chapter, where it kind of talked about um, participant liability and safety. I thought it was interesting when it sort of looked at the scope of criminal, legal matters within a game or within an athletic event. It brought up several instances within hockey where players were severely injured and there wasn't really any legal matter taken to it because it was within the event itself, and it was considered part of the entertainment process. Some of the guys did have settlements or they had to do community service or whatever. It mentioned the Bounty Gate thing, which also, obviously has some consequences to it. Um, but I thought that's was a really interesting section, and I think there's in the future I see a lot more focus being put onto that. In the book it kind of talked about sometimes prosecutors don't really want to deal with sport cases because in the book it said it put parentheses around they have other like real cases to work on with homicides, murders, things like that. So they don't always really want to take the time, waste taxpayer money, and look into cases that involve athletes, when some freak incident, or sometimes it's not so freak, in a matter of there was intention there, causes harm to another individual within the game. So that was just sort of caught my attention. I kind of looked into that more and more and just started really thinking about that. And I can see in the future where, as sports, particularly professional level, hockey, NBA, football, clearly, um, I can see where they would start to really monitor actions within a game and potentially, um, have legal suits outside of the game, in the public's eye. We already see where players today are sort of more and more scrutinized about their public life, anyways, or their private life, I guess I should say. It's sort of brought to the public eye more and more these days with, what they do on their vacations, some of their family situations, matters that happen. That's kind of investigated more and more now because professional sports, that's the players themselves are part of that brand. Um, so they want their product to be represented well, and I think that could be moved more towards in game as well, where in the future we see hockey incidences that cause serious harm. The player that caused that could see some legal, uh, you know, case brought against him, uh, in um, real life, I guess you say. I mean, it is real life, but without the protection of being, in uniform in the middle of an event. So that was just one of the things that was, especially caught my attention outside of all the other liabilities that we were reading about. And so, yeah,